This mod combo can turn your void primary weapons into absolute ad-cleared champs. Let me break it down for you and show you what mods you'll need, how it works, and my thoughts on its application. Oh, but real quick, before we get into it, okay, moving on. I'll just start with the main reason I even wanted to make this video in the first place. I got my first mod unlock in the final column of the seasonal artifact the other day, and I thought, what the heck, this Volatile Flow thing sounds pretty interesting, so I'll just take a chance and unlock that mod first. Why not? Let's break down how it works since, as usual, the description is confusing and makes the mod sound underwhelming. What is the description, you ask? Picking up a Void Elemental Well grants your Void weapons volatile rounds. I mean, it's not technically wrong, but that doesn't really show you how strong this mod can be in my opinion. So what does making a target volatile even mean? Well, basically it causes them to explode upon taking extra damage after the debuff is procced. The explosion will also trigger if a volatile target dies. This sounds fantastic, and it is pretty good, but it's all balanced pretty well since most things that can make a target volatile are abilities, and therefore can't be used on every enemy, or at least not without a very good void build. And that also takes up a lot of space on your mods and actual effort. We can't have that, right? I am dedicated to my mission of giving you the best ways to think as little as possible while playing Destiny. Okay, so what makes this mod so good then? If you're already running a build where you're generating void wells, then you can simply put this mod on and it will activate through no other alterations to your normal gameplay. It also has an insanely long active timer of 18 seconds, which makes it extremely easy to keep it activated at all times. I mean, you don't even really need to try to keep this activated with a timer this long. It's honestly ridiculous. In practice, I honestly think this is one of the best uses of volatility in the game. Like I said earlier, it's hard to reproc volatile on targets since it's typically activated from abilities. However, this mod can be procced and then detonated with any void weapon, but this is especially good on your primary weapon. It can then be immediately reprocced again as soon as the detonation happens. It differs based on the damage a weapon deals, but targets typically detonate from 3 to 10 bullets from a primary weapon. Basically, you simply fire your weapon as usual and enemies explode over and over again. There's no fuss or difficult activation sequence, just collect a Void Elemental Well and get Void Explosive rounds for nearly 20 seconds. And this isn't a small activation radius either, it's at least a couple meters. And it does more damage than a shot from your primary weapon as well. How much damage does the explosion do though, I'm sure you're wondering? It can't be that much, right? Well, each explosion does a whopping 7,711 damage. Since the normal bullet from this SMG I'm using in this clip does 811 damage per shot, that nearly doubles its damage output without even taking into account the damage it's doing to other nearby enemies. This damage stays the same on other weapons like fusion rifles and rocket launchers too, so it can even be used to increase damage from fusions by around 25% and rockets as well, albeit a much smaller increase. Guys, this might just be the best new mod in the game, holy shit. Get used to using void weapons, y'all. I'm sure you're wondering what I would use with this though, right? Well, any void weapon will work, but to me there's one choice that stands far above the others. I'm sure you've seen it floating around. That's right, everyone. Recluse 2. The Funnelweb. I've been hearing a lot about this thing, both that it's amazing and that it's overhyped. I personally think that it's fantastic, and it's my new favorite primary. However, more importantly, it's a good primary that's void. Obviously that means you can use it with volatile rounds. Since it has a fast rate of fire, it's extremely easy to proc and detonate just by using your weapon normally. It also helps with the weapon's poor range, since volatile explosion always does the same amount of damage. I mean, plus the added bonus of returning to simpler times where I can use my favorite gun, the Recluse, in every activity in the game. Rest in peace to the king. I miss you. You can use any other void primary to get the mod to work though, such as Gnawing Hunger or Palindrome. It does also work with special ammo weapons and heavy weapons, such as fusion rifles, grenade launchers, and swords, as long as they're void charged. There is one more thing that you can use to make this combo even more busted though, believe it or not. Ever heard of Fount of Might? It's an elemental well mod that normally costs 4 energy, but it's actually on the artifact of the season, making it cost only 1 energy if you decide to pick it up. It will probably take away from the well generation potential of your build since it takes up another mod slot, but it does make this combo much better. Essentially, if you collect a well that's the same element as your subclass, then it buffs weapon damage by 25% if that weapon is the same element. To be honest, I normally don't like this mod since it's difficult to make it work in a build, and often the payoff isn't worth the trouble. However, since you're already using a Void Well build and a Void weapon to be able to use volatile rounds, this is only really a cherry on top. It's the first time I've ever been able to put this mod on a build where it didn't require me to do anything extra to get it to work, and I have to be honest, it feels great. Alright, check this out. This is a comparison between the normal Funnelweb killing an elite knight on a 1550 Nightfall versus one using volatile rounds. Now clearly the one using volatile rounds kills faster, but just wait for it. Here's volatile rounds and Font of Might both working together to kill the same enemy. Yeah. It's no exaggeration to say you could burn through most activities using only your primary weapon with this combo. The only downside is that Font of Might only has a 10-second timer compared to volatile rounds 18, but it's still quite long and relatively easy to chain. It's not required to use this by any means for volatile rounds to be good, but it does make them kill just a bit faster. Alright, so my overall thoughts. I've been having an absolute blast using this combo. It essentially prevents me from needing to run an ad clear special or heavy weapons, so I can use those for survivability or DPS. It's definitely not on the same level as something like Trinity Ghoul for ad clear, but it's leagues better than any other primary legendary weapon in the game. I haven't finalized my loadout for Day 1 Vow of the Disciple yet, but I'm almost positive that this will be my primary weapon because of this mod combo. This also becomes even more insane when paired with Void 3.0 builds, but I'll be talking more about that in depth for separate videos. So, be sure to subscribe if you want to catch those. It's free and you can always unsub later. Oh, and I'll also be streaming my team participating in the Day 1 raid race, so if you want to catch me live, come over and watch me at twitch.tv/xiceberg. Alright everyone, I'm off for now. I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next one.